All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about a piece of tech that didn't just break records, it completely shattered them. This is the story of how one app became, literally, the fastest growing application in history.
So the story really kicks off with this number, 100 million. 100 million users. Now, that's a milestone that tech giants usually spend years and a whole lot of money trying to hit. But that number, as huge as it is, isn't even the wildest part of the story.
The truly mind-blowing part is the timeline. It took just 2 months. That's it. 60 days from launch to 100 million people. It's an absolutely unheard of speed.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just hype. The analysts over at UBS, the folks who track this stuff for a living, were totally stunned. They basically said that in 2 decades of watching the internet, they'd never seen anything grow this fast, ever.
Now this chart really puts it all into perspective. Just look at this. TikTok, which we all thought was a rocket ship, took 9 months to get there. Instagram, which basically defined a decade, took 2.5 years. And then there's ChatGPT, all the way over there on the left. It's not even in the same league.
Let's just put some hard numbers on that. We're talking 4.5 times faster than TikTok's explosive growth, and an incredible 15 times faster than Instagram. Just insane.
So the big question is, how? How did this happen? I mean, apps like TikTok and Instagram grew because they had these massive marketing campaigns and something called network effects. That feeling of, I have to join because all my friends are there. Well, ChatGPT had none of that. Zero marketing, zero network effects. Its growth was fueled by one thing and one thing only: pure, raw utility.
So what does that breakneck speed actually look like when you break it down? Well, on average, ChatGPT was adding about 1.7 million new users every single day.
And if we zoom in even more, that's 70,000 new people signing up every single hour. To put that in perspective, that's like filling up an entire sold-out football stadium every 60 minutes, 24/7.
But this is the number that just gets me every time. It boils down to nearly 20 new users signing up every single second for 2 straight months. That is a pace of adoption the internet has just never, ever witnessed before.
Okay, so you don't just stumble into numbers like that. How in the world did they pull it off with basically a $0 marketing budget? Well, it turns out the secret sauce had 4 main ingredients. It had to have universal utility, it had zero marketing spend, it didn't need your friends to be on it, and it was completely free and super easy to get started.
And that first ingredient, universal utility, is really the key to the whole thing. What does that mean? It means that unlike a niche app or social network, this tool was immediately useful to almost anyone for almost anything they could think of. It wasn't about connecting with friends, it was about getting things done.
And who exactly found a use for it? Well, pretty much everybody. Students immediately saw a homework helper. Developers got a coding buddy that never sleeps. Writers had a brainstorming partner. You had researchers, entrepreneurs, marketers, you name it. Everyone, everywhere, found their own personal reason to use it, and that's what lit the fuse.
And the timeline of this explosion is just wild. It quietly launches at the very end of November 2022, billed as just a research preview. Then throughout December, word of mouth just goes nuclear on social media. And by January, boom, it crosses 100 million users, right as the major news outlets were just starting to figure out what was going on.
But look, breaking a record is one thing. The much more important part of this story is what this moment signaled to the entire world. This wasn't just a tech fad. This was the sound of a massive shift beginning.
And what was that signal? It was this. The barrier to using incredibly powerful AI is officially gone. It's vanished. You no longer need to be a programmer or have a PhD. If you can type, you can now use world-class artificial intelligence. It put a superpower into the hands of everyday people.
And that has some pretty huge implications for all of us, especially when it comes to our careers. The new rule of the game is pretty simple. If you're not learning how to work with these tools, you're at risk of falling behind. But if you are, you can become 10 times more productive, more creative, and more valuable.
And we're not talking about some small niche market here. The scale of this opportunity is just massive.
The AI industry is already worth over $200 billion. It's growing at a blistering 40% a year, and it's expected to create almost 100 million new jobs in just the next few years.
So here's the most important thing to remember. That crazy, record-breaking growth of ChatGPT, that wasn't the destination. That was just the starting gun. The real, deep transformation of how we work, create, and live is happening right now, all around us.
Ultimately, this moment proved that AI is no longer some sci-fi concept for the distant future. It's here, it's in our hands, and it's moving faster than anything we've ever seen before. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready for it?